Hello students. Price rise. We understood the meaning that when price constantly increases, we call it price rise. So, and price rise, how it benefits producer and how it damages economy, that also we saw. And then we understood that it leads to inflation. I forgot to say, it's important for you to know as economics student, not related to your textbook. There are 4 types of inflation. When the price rises, if it rises within the control, that is good. You might be confused that how can price rise be good? So everybody will try to push to get more income because they have to make more expenses. And that's how the GDP grows. But how much price rise can be tolerated? So, the first type of inflation is known as creeping inflation. Creeping inflation is usually 2 to 3.5% of inflation. So, the 100 rupees thing will become 102 rupees, which is not objectionable for anybody, and that's how the GDP can grow. Next is walking inflation. The inflation that comes in double digit. So the walking inflation can be tolerated by middle class, of course they struggles, but will not make any difference to the elites. Then comes running inflation, which starts multiplying and increasing to price getting almost doubled, which can trouble anybody. It can trouble government, it can trouble the super rich people. And this type of condition is a nightmare to any country's economy. Does not happen, but it is economics theory, is what I said, you need to know. And the last one is hyperinflation. Hyperinflation as in, today the thing that is in 100 rupees, tomorrow it will be in 10 lakh rupees. It will cost 10 lakh. Sounds crazy, right? In very rare countries, in history it has happened. It had happened in Germany, it had happened in France, it had recently happened in Greece, very recently, in the time frame of the 5 years. So inflation to a certain extent is okay, but then beyond that is not. Now here, why inflation takes place, we have 5 reasons. We have 5 to understand. The first reason is increase in monetary supply. You know children, when money only itself increases in market, people spend so much that from one person's pocket it goes to second, from that it increases and goes to third person's pocket, and whole of the market is flooded with money that everybody is encouraged to raise prices because they know that it will not make any difference even if I sell at a higher price. Second is population growth, that I shall explain you later. Third is increase in export, high price of raw material and usage of non-registered money. What it is, we will see. We start with the first one. The supply of money increases so much. In 3 ways it can be increased. The first is when new money is generated, when the currency notes are printed, when the supply of money in market is increased. Normally government does this when it is depression time. There are 3 words: slowdown, recession and depression. Slowdown is when the business activities are not going good. People are not earning so good. Recession is mandi, what we call. Very slow down. As if business has no movement. And depression is when because of no business, people start making losses. So when it is totally depressionary, it's only then that government to boost people supply money by way of currency notes. So when, say for example, it is $5 billion in market and government prints another $1 billion. Obviously the market will be having more currency, more money supply, and that will go indirectly to somebody's pocket, and when it will go to that fellow's pocket, he will spend. So it goes to some another fellow's pocket, and then that's how it rotates. Increase in circulation, like I said, the rotation of a currency note. Imagine children, there is one 500 rupees note, currency note that you are having. You are giving it to the fuel station person, the petrol man, and he is fueling up 200 rupees petrol in your vehicle. Now that 200 rupees, so many people will earn out of that. Because so many people will earn from that, they will spend elsewhere where so many other people will earn. And indirectly, everybody is earning. So the money is flowing, circulating. And because people will have money, they will not have debts. And so they will not have to give money to bank, repaying EMIs. Instead, they will have liquid with them. So they will spend more. And the more they spend, the more there will be flow in market. When will a rickshawala not mind to charge 5 rupees more when he knows that people has paying capacity? When will the passenger not mind paying 5 rupees more when he has money? Gradually, it starts from basic needs, then it comes to luxurious, then it comes to super luxurious, and everywhere the higher price becomes a trend. Now, in a short run, it sounds good, everybody is making money, and there is money, so there's no problem. But slowly and steadily, it will reach to a deadlock. How? See, there will be increase in demand because people have money. There will be increase in demand because his purchasing power has increased. See, my salary was 50,000, now it is 60,000. So I'm having that extra 10,000 which I didn't have prior. So now I can buy more from those 10,000 also. So I can purchase more. That's increasing purchasing power. Same way, because we all are earning, we are paying taxes, so government is also making good money. Now when government makes money, government does not want to keep it stored. Government wants to spend it more. Because when government spends, so many people will earn. Now you will be amazed to hear that how can government spending make money for others? Say suppose government has got 5 lakh crore rupees extra by way of tax in this month. Now if government will give contract to build highways of worth 5 lakh crore, so the contractor will earn, the laborers will earn, the raw material supplier will earn, and in all there will be infrastructure also developed and so many people taking money to their homes also. So yes, here it happens that purchasing power increased. Then, defense. So here the example is spending on defense. It could be spent anywhere. Government and us, we always spend more money in celebration. When we have money, we want to celebrate, we want to party, we want that. There will be so many areas where we will spend. So when we celebrate, so many people associated to that celebration spends. And then people's income also increases, salary increases. Okay. So again they will spend. That's how market is constantly flooded with money, money, money. So the first reason of increase in price rise is increase in monetary supply. Money is supplied more, people have more, people spend more, some other people earn more, they spend more, some others spend more, and that's how the flow of income increases, the flow of spending increases, and price increases because people won't mind paying it because they have it. I hope you're clear with the first point. Moving towards the second point, population growth. So population growth. Here it is mentioned that in India every year 1.9% population gets added up. We already have so many problems and the new one is population. In fact, it is the base reason. How? You see, demand and supply is imbalanced. Students, the way number of people are increasing, obviously they will have their needs. Not talking about the luxurious needs, but at least basic needs will be there. Now the people, they are increasing and their needs are increasing, but in that proportion, the supply of goods is not increasing. There were 100 factories last year, there are 100 one factories. But then the population is way more increased and demand is far more increased. So now you see the demand increased, the supply is not increased. Next year again demand increased, supply a little bit increased. Next year again demand increased, supply a little bit increased. The gap between the two is increasing. And in economics, when demand increases but supply does not increase, the price increases. So there will be those people only who will get resource they are having money with. So there will be shortage of goods, and shortage of goods increases prices. So population has nothing to do with money, but it has something to do with the shortage, and that's why price increases. Next is increase in export. I had 100 apples. There was a need of 110 apples. Out of the 100 apples also, I exported 20 apples. Now I have 80 apples and the demand is 110 apples. Export is good, you know, it gives you more money, and government will also support because it fetches foreign revenue. Why government wants foreign revenue? Because we have to import things, at least essentials. If we talk about crude oil and all, government will require foreign currency. So government does not mind people's exporting, you know. In fact, government encourages. So now when the resources were already less and demand was high, after export the resources are lesser. So the gap widens and that increases prices even more. Government encourages export for foreign revenue, so local market supply reduces, and that's how price increases. Now next, high price of raw material. Take example of cotton. Cotton grows in a limited quantity. Let us take example, the cotton that is grown is 100 tons and the demand was 110 tons. Now export is 50 tons. Very good countries like China, Japan, they rely on our cotton raw material only. So we now have 50 tons and the demand is still 110 ton. Now when the demand is high and supply is less, so the price increases. So the cotton which was 50 rupees a meter is now 80 rupees a meter. Now the 80 rupees meter cotton obviously will produce expensive cloth. And because the cloth itself is costed high, it is manufactured at a higher price, it will be sold even higher price in the market. And that's how the price increases. I have mentioned here something that is push factor. So there are two types of factors responsible for price rise. The first one which we understood, that because I have more money, I can spend more money. Because everybody will have more money, everybody will spend money. And that's how price increases out of pull factor. Every seller is pulled, is attracted. Okay, let me increase price. People are still buying at any price. Let me increase even more. People are readily happy to pay. That is pull factor. But here, because the producer is himself incurring so heavy cost and for out of no reason, he does not want to make super profit. But because his cloth itself is manufactured expensive, his cost, manufacturing cost is high, so he will have to sell at a higher price. So that is push factor. He is pushed to increase price. He himself does not want to. So there are pull factors and there are push factors, both responsible for price. Again, this has nothing to do with the syllabus, but you need to understand to actually feel what price rise is. And the charm of economics is when you feel the subject. Then only you will find it logical and it will make sense. Usage of black money. If I have 1 crore rupees which government does not know, I have not shown my income in the books of accounts. I have not reflected it because I didn't want it to pay tax. If I am making 1 crore rupees, I will have to pay flat 30%, 30 lakh rupees. Now I will feel that I made I earned it very hard. How can I give 30 lakh rupees to government? So I am not showing it to government. Now I will have the threat that what if there is a raid at my place and my 1 crore is discovered and government will take away everything. So better let me spend it. Now everybody has a limited need. I can spend on food, I can spend on clothing, I can make a bungalow. But now if I have extra money, I will spend in unwanted things. Like I will go for foreign trips, I will buy a lot of gold. I'll make all the expenses whether I need them or I don't. So I'm spending more and I'm encouraging others to earn more, and I'm encouraging the market to increase prices due to the pull factor, not the push factor. And that's how price increases. So this unregistered currency means black money, which I'm not showing to my government. In order to save tax, I will hide my income. And because I'm hiding it, I will not want to store it with a threat that it might be discovered. So I'll spend it. Wherever I find a place, I'll spend everywhere. And that supports price rise. So I hope that you are clear with all 5 factors, all 5 reasons of price rise. Now we will understand why it is needed to be controlled. See you in the next class. Bye bye.